Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiancé and for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we were shipping out today on Wednesday, so pretty good day. I wasn't paying attention to sales too much. I was just like listing, and I let Annette take hold of all the offers. She usually deals with all the offers, so I kind of just went in blind. Sometimes I just do that just to wake up and when I get to the storage unit see what's sold. So got a good amount of stuff right here. I didn't look at the total, but it seems like it's probably okay. So the first thing is going to be these. A lot of 36 Deadlands collectible card game. This is in the Doomtown world, Wild Wild West. You're going to be playing poker card hands, but then everyone's cheating because of like the rules on the cards and such. These are ghost rocks or ghost bucks basically within the card game. I'm not too sure. I've never played the card game, so this is the only time I got these. These ended up going for, one second, $13 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping. Moving along, someone bought two individual Mech Warrior by WizKids. These are different tanks, or I mean the same tank, two of them. D1 Schmidt tank right here. I forgot what faction is. It's with the snake eating its own tail. Normally when I do the WizKids Mech Warrior stuff, I like to list them by their factions because that's how you have to play the game. You pick a faction, you build up a whole team worth of points. Everything is worth points. Like, for example, let me see if I can find, these are each worth 94 points. So if you're playing with a buddy, you guys might say like, oh, we have 500 points for our army, and then you build your army. You can kind of pick and choose. I'm not sure what like the standard is. Usually the rule books, that's what the standard, but like friends kind of just pick and choose what they want. More points, bigger battles, small points, smaller skirmishes. So I normally do these in lots, but I want to try some individuals. So when I got some Mech Warrior stuff, I got a huge collection. I actually did a video about it maybe like 6 months or a year ago. I labeled it like the biggest Mech Warrior collection I've ever seen or something, which was true. It was a bunch of stuff. So yeah, these two end up going for $10 or 5 each. So $10 for the individual ones, which is pretty good because normally I put like 20 to 30 figures for like between $25 to $40. So I'm getting more for the individuals. I just wanted to try it out. All right, moving along, we have these right here. These are 11. It's either 11 or 12. How many did I have of these? 11 Warhammer 40K Necron Warrior. I think these are like vintage ones. I got like a little Necron collection from the person I normally get like anime stuff from. They were selling like their brothers. They didn't want their Necron stuff anymore, so some were like vintage, and it was just like also was in that Warhammer 40K container, which sells for like a good amount of money. That like a hardcover one people can imagine if they play the game. I also got that and listed it. So yeah, just the Warriors sold for $20. I think I paid up a little bit more than I should have for the Warhammer stuff, but I still have a bunch more listed. I only sold a handful of them. They were like slightly harder for me to research at the time. I think it was because some of the pieces were like vintage. They would have like the Necrons would have these like little glow sticks. And I was trying to like look up the official terminology, and the person I bought it from, it was their brother, so they didn't really know. But yeah, $20 for those. All right, moving along, we have this, a lot of 86 Deadlands cards. So same collectible card game right here. A lot of these were repeat buyers. I want to say half of these orders here today were repeat buyers. And I was looking at my stats yesterday, just trying to like my sales for January till now. My sales are technically down, I think like 7.2% compared to last year. But the only number that is, excuse me, better this year is repeat buyers. It's like up by like a lot of percent. I forgot the percent number. Sorry, I know numbers are just kind of boring. I just like to mention it real quick that I'm getting more repeat buyers, which I think over time is a good thing because that means that these people are keeping an eye out on my store. They know how I work with offers. They know my sales price. Like they know how I pack and ship or how Netta packs and ships. So they basically like once we have like a customer and we don't lose their trust and then we keep listing things that they're interested in, we'll get more and more sales from them. So it's pretty cool. All right, a lot of 86 Deadlands collectible card games. I think these are just commons and uncommons. I'm not too sure if there's rares. I think you have to like look up individual cards to see which ones are rares or not. I use a website called CCG Trader for all my dead card games. Pretty good source. They'll give you like a little history of the game, and then they'll organize everything by the sets, and then you can like look up cards. Not everything has like an image or something for it because it's kind of like I think like some kind of like fan site, so some stuff is kind of blank, but it's like what I use to look up some of the stuff when I don't know it. That sold for $13.99. Got a bunch of Deadlands stuff all the time at auction stuff. It is a little bit more niche. They do sell slower, but I know people like the realm, the Wild Wild West. There's not too many like card games for that. Like a grittier, like I said, like you're playing these poker hands, and then there's like rules for the cards. It's a pretty complex one, and people still like it. All right, moving along. This thing is pretty cool. This is going to be a pack of 50 Hexplorer. These are swamp little magnetic tiles for like some kind of hex game. Looks like someone made this on Kickstarter. It has a little Kickstarter thing up at top. Just meant that people like prepaid for it in like a little website, and then eventually they ship out the stuff when they get enough money, and then they design the product and then ship it out. So yeah, little tiles, magnetic, that you would like clamp onto like maps or something to make the specific hexes swamp. So you're kind of like building up your own map, which is kind of like a cool concept. Or someone could just, you don't need it to be magnetic like your baseboard. You can just put on little tiles of these swamps to denote different terrain. So that's a pretty cool concept. They can probably use it for RPGs, board game, miniature games, war games. So multifaceted item. I just thought it was cool. $12.96 for that. Moving along, we have a board game. Excuse me. It's called New Dawn. Never played this one by Artipia Games. Artipia Games. I'm not sure if I'm saying that company correct. Really in-depth sci-fi game. There's a lot of tokens. There's also a lot of dice and stuff. I pick up all these like extra little board games, ones I haven't heard of. This one looks like it could be fun for someone, like I said, if they like sci-fi. It looks like there's a bunch of dice and little mechanics and stuff like that. So this ended up selling for $11.23. Not too much. I charge shipping for people, so a lot of that's going to be into shipping it. So like a heavier is probably going at like a 4 or 5 pound rate. All right, next up is going to be dice. I listed these a long time ago. They are blue dice right here. Classic, I think like 12 millimeter size, or maybe what's the next one up, like 16 millimeter or something, like your classic black and white red dice that you would roll, you know. These are blue blank spaces, and then some of them have like a white shield. So it's going to be for some kind of like war game or probably like a board game where these are going to be defensive dice where you have a chance to get some defense. It looks like when I listed them, I couldn't identify them. I don't know what they are right now by looking at them. These 5 sold for $14.40. I just put like, you know, blue dice with shield, and then what else did I put? Yeah, that's a D6 because like they have 6 sides. All right, next up, I just listed this yesterday. Europa right here. This is the box only. If it was the full game, it'd be very, very expensive. So this is Fire in the East one. There are 24 games within this Europa series by Game Designers Workshop right here, GDW. I've never played them. I heard that this game is like super complicated. I think this is within the realm where like people can't finish it. People are always like wanting to play all 24 games in a row, and then they realize that these are like really, really long, in-depth strategy games trying to, I think, mimic like World War II. So it goes through the 24 series. I think it's supposed to go through like the whole thing and major battles and stuff like that. So kind of like a really cool concept for like a board game. This is just the box. I sold it because these boxes, as you can tell, they're not the best quality. They're the kind, like the long kind where if something goes on top, the corners get mushed, ripped, and then someone needs to get a new box. So this one is a relatively good condition, even though I have it in the baggie so you can't tell. I'll give it like a B minus, but that's pretty good for these older board games boxes. So yeah, that was the $27 for that one, just for the box. So yeah, the game's pretty expensive if you have it full. I also had a lot of the counters that I've been listing. They were incomplete. So it was basically like a incomplete collection of all this stuff. You know, someone just had like the 5 boxes or like, you know, the base game and their expansions that they had, and they just kind of put all the rule sheets. Some of them had like liquid damage, so dry liquid damage. So I had to throw out some of them, and then I just lotted up the rest. There was like a bunch of tokens all over the place. So yeah, it was a messy collection to go through. So the other person did not want to go through it. I am almost done with it listening today. Moving along, we have Pathfinder Adventure card game. This is going to be a promo blessing of Zogmugat. Zogmugat? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Never played Pathfinder, but pretty cool RPG that people like. I think it's supposed to be similar to like D&D 3.5. I think that people were like when Dungeons & Dragons went to like 4th edition or something, there was a fan base that split off and they made Pathfinder. This is just a card game. I know I always get recommended this. This is something that I probably have to play because we like story games. She likes deck builders. We like co-op games. So yeah, you go on different adventures in the Pathfinder Adventure card game. You build up your character. You'll have these little campaign boxes of basically different scenarios to go through. This is just like an extra promo card. This sold for $16.20 right there. Like I said, we never played the game. And last up, all right, this is where the battle lines get drawn in the house right here. This is this is what Annette and I argue about. This right here is going to be a poster that we sold. This is I don't know. I guess I can fully bring it out. This is BoJack Horseman. Sorry, it's probably like curling up on you guys. So yeah, this is like a poster she got a long time ago. Argue about this because she's like a super fan of BoJack Horseman. I never saw it. I'm not into like cartoons and stuff like this. Last cartoon I was into was like SpongeBob a long time ago when I was like, you know, more of a kid. Just like cartoons don't do it for me. But yeah, she's like, you're gonna love this. I tried watching a couple episodes. I think during lockdowns, I just like couldn't get through. After a couple episodes, I was like, in my opinion, this is trash. I don't like this. This is not my kind of thing. So for me, it's a negative 20 out of 10, and for her, she loves BoJack Horseman, the philosophy around it, and the story that it tells, and all like the analysis of the show. So I know people like it. just not me. She likes it a lot. So they end up going for $29.99. Like I said, just because I don't like something doesn't mean someone else doesn't like it. All right. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone's having a good week so far.